You could literally move mountains for somebody if they want them out of the fucking way. And if they are not secure within themselves and on their path and journey, it will never be enough. Okay, before I start this video, I just want to say this is not sponsored, by the way. I don't have an Amazon storefront. Maybe I'll get one day because I'm literally obsessed. But this light, I've been taking selfies with it. I took it with me for Halloween for Aubrey and her friends to take pictures. I've been using it to film my videos. Look at this. Ready? Without, with. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? Bitch. I'm obsessed. But neither here or there. How are you all doing today? Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are new. And if you are new, please consider liking this video, subscribing, join the Kotaku family. While you're at it, turn your post notifications on by clicking the bell icon in the corner. Follow me on all of my social medias, always linked down below, and they will be displayed on the screen. And follow my personal development podcast, Sis Let's Heal, available on Apple, Spotify, Google, any platform you could think of. You don't even have to have an app as well. Always linked in the bio. Now, today, we are going to be telling a story time of basically the time that I was with somebody and then I found out they were engaged. Not while they were with me, but shortly after, and it's just a huge mind fuck if I'm being completely honest. I'm telling this story for educational purposes only, for women, to warn women just to be careful. Like, be careful of the men that you surround yourself with. Be careful of the men that you allow to come into your life. Be careful of the men that you date, and always just protect your energy first and foremost. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. If somebody is continuously taken out of your life, or if you're with somebody and you feel like it's wrong, right person, wrong time, and it's just not working, it's because it's not supposed to work. What is done in the dark will always come to light. I am such a firm believer in that. And in this case, there is no, like, first of all, when I tell you I'm psychic, I'm psychic. I find out everything. And when my intuition pulls at me, it pulls. Us as women, we are taught by society to water down our intuition because men do not like being called out on their bullshit. And we're called crazy, we're called relentless, we're called all the names in the book. But in actuality, what that does is it teaches us to diminish our intuition. And for a woman, your intuition is your body's navigating system, okay? Never let anybody diminish that shit because it is your superpower. And if somebody is calling you crazy because of something that you assume, it's probably because you're right. Sometimes the closure is within the disrespect. In this situation, I reached out to this person to try to get them to tell their side of the story, to inform me of what actually happened, and they did not do that. They declined. And so for me, because I know that he's going to watch this video, he watches all my videos, this video is happening because this is my way of putting this in the past, leaving it in 2022, and moving the fuck on. Over this past year, I've probably had one of the most transformative times of my life. And I don't say that in a positive way. There are positive aspects to the transformations that have happened in my life this year. But I have been getting hit back to back to back with betrayal, with backstabbers, with people I thought that were going to be in my life forever. And the thing is that betrayal never comes from an enemy. It always comes from someone who's close. And there are people a lot of times who only stay close to you so they can benefit off of you, so they could use you, and so they can steal your energy because they're energy vampires. And I have been having this thing in my head lately where I feel like I'm very close to meeting the person I'm supposed to be with forever. I just have this like feeling, I just know it's gonna happen. And also that I'm about to start on this incredible journey with all the things that I want to do with my channel and with my life. And a lot of times, you know, I'm gonna put it into kind of spiritual terms, God in the universe. When you are going to be attracting new and fun and great exhilarating experiences, you have to let go of your past. You have to have a clean house. So all the people that cannot come with you on the next journey, gotta go. All of the places and things and circumstances that hold you back, gotta go. All the self-doubting and negative beliefs and misconceptions you have about yourself have to go. And the past year, I've been doing a huge deprogramming, you know, working on my trauma, dissolving these beliefs that I have about myself, my imposter syndrome, healing my codependency. I've been single for a whole entire year, not dating, just working on myself. With this person I'm going to be talking about, there was always a what if. The relationship I was in, there would always be a what if. Like, okay, yes, I love this person, but what if it worked out with this person, right? And this year I've gotten closure with almost every single person that's ever wronged me in the past. There's always just been one person that I have never had the closure with, and it's always been a what if, and it's always been like a right person, wrong time in my head. Now with this information that I have that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, I know that that's not the case. I just was dealing with the master manipulator, pathological liar, etc. But there's always been a what if, and I was praying to God one night and I said, God, I really want to move on with my life. I really want to meet the person I'm supposed to be with. I'm asking you to tie up all the loose ends. I have this feeling with this person, we're going to call him Stefan, where I just always felt like we were meant to be together. I always felt like it was supposed to happen because I love this person so much, not even as a romantic person, but like as a best friend, because we were best friends, okay? And I said, please just reveal to me if this is supposed to work out or not, or if I should just completely move on. And when I prayed to God about that was when I found out about the engagement that happened without my knowledge while this person was still trying to talk to me and have me in their life. We'll get to it. So anyway, there's no disrespect to this person in this video. I genuinely wish you the best, wish you well. This is just for me to say my piece, close this chapter, and move the fuck on, which I've already done. I feel like this video is gonna help a lot of women. So sit back, relax, get your wine, get your snacks, get your popcorn. I'm not gonna be editing this video. I just wanna sit here, be raw, be emotional, be vulnerable, get it out, and release it. So let's get into this story time. I've tried so hard to sit down and compartmentalize, is that the fucking word? This story and like write it down and go off of a script, and I just can't do it. There are so many details that go to this story, so many details that go into this story. I'm not authentic when I write myself a script. I just want to sit here and tell it. So if you see me like looking to the side a lot, it's because I'm thinking. So I'm not even going to give like time frames or when this happened or whatever, it doesn't matter. But I was talking to this guy named Stefan, and me and Stefan met basically just on Instagram. We were DMing each other back and forth, nothing flirtatious, nothing romantic, just as a friend thing. And that's exactly what it was. So we ended up DMing on Instagram. After that, we shortly exchanged numbers, and then we kind of became pen pals for like almost a year. It was like, you know what, fine, fuck it, let's just do the timeline. So it was February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. And the first time I met Stefan was December of 2020. So damn near a year, 10 months. We were literally like pen pals. We would talk all the time. We would like text literally all the time. And sometimes when you are talking to somebody, you feel a connection with them that you haven't felt with somebody else. And Stefan was very mentally stimulating for me, and I felt comfortable opening up to him. At that time, I was going through a really hard time with my mental health. My depression was probably the worst it's ever been, anxiety the worst it's ever been. He was going through a lot at the time, and we felt very comfortable opening up to each other. I've told him things I haven't even told my therapist. He's told me things that he says he's never told anybody, but now looking back, I think that was just a manipulation tactic to make me feel this closeness to him. I'm not like diagnosing him as a narcissist because I don't know, and I don't want everyone to think that I just think everyone's a narcissist, because I don't. Some people are just pieces of shit, and like plain and simple. But I do think he's a master manipulator because he knows how to manipulate emotions. And if you're wondering, he's a Cancer. So there's that. Sometimes what people who manipulate do is they will tell you all of these things and then be like, oh my God, I've never told anybody that before. Like, you're so special to me because I feel so comfortable opening up to you. And what that does is it makes you feel like you have this bond together, like this like sire bond, like this closeness. And it sometimes could be a trauma bond, but for me personally, I feel like, actually, yes, definitely a trauma bond, because I used to be anxious attached and he's avoidant. So anxious attached and avoidant, what they do is they trauma bond together over their abandonment, basically. And so me and him definitely had like a trauma bond going on, and I feel like that's why I was so like sired to him for such a long time. But he also made me feel like I was the only person he opened up to. I was the only person that he talked to like this. I was so special, right? And when I literally tell you that this man lived not even a double life, a triple life, it's absolutely insane. But we'll get there in a minute. Me and him continue this bond for about 10 months. And during this time, there was this girl. And I don't remember what I called her in the past story times. So I'm just going to give her a name. It's going to be like Sam, right? So he was talking to this girl named Sam, and we basically bonded over me helping him get over a heartbreak, if that makes sense. So he was talking to her, and then I guess he says, you know, out of nowhere, she cut him off, got in a new relationship, etc. Now looking back, I don't think that's true. I think that she ended up finding out what I found out, but I think she found it out early on, right? And that's another thing, ladies, you have to be careful of. When a guy is sitting there and he's telling you his heartbreak stories and how all of his exes wronged him and all of his exes are in the wrong, and he's just such a good person, and he doesn't understand why he pours his heart out and never gets the same energy back. Huge fucking red flag when somebody cannot take accountability. I can sit here and I can say I've been wronged by people, but I have also hurt other people, not on purpose. But sometimes in your healing journey, there are casualties. And I personally think that it's important to know that you have also hurt people as much as people have hurt you sometimes, and that's okay. It's a circle of life. It's how you learn, you grow, and you change, and you don't repeat those patterns. But for people like Stefan, what he does is he continuously hurts people. He's like the Tasmanian devil, hurting people. He's like a fucking tornado, literally. And instead of taking accountability and being like, maybe I should stop, he keeps doing it, but he's aware that he does it. He's so self-aware, but he's also so selfish that he doesn't care enough to fix his mistakes. And that is why, a huge reason as to why I'm so happy that we're not friends anymore. During this time of me helping him getting over this heartbreak, I fell in love with him. And I know that you guys are like, Dakota, how could you do that? It's just like you falling in love with somebody who you're in a long distance relationship with. There's a certain connection that you have that's like unexplainable, and it's like unspoken. And I'm not going to go ahead and sit here and defend myself, because I don't think I'm crazy for falling in love with somebody without meeting them. I think that there's certain people that stimulate you mentally, you have a lot in common with, and that love bomb you to the point where you fall in love with them. And also, here's the thing. I've been with a few narcissists, haven't been for a while, but I have been with a few. And people always say to me, how do you not understand that they're love bombing you in the beginning? Because if I met me, I'd fall in love with me in 15 minutes. Are you kidding me? I'd be obsessed with me too. I'd want to give me the world too. I would want to do everything for me too, because I'm fucking magnificent. So like, no, I don't see it as a weird thing, because if I was somebody else meeting me for the first time, I'd fall in love in 15 minutes, bitch. So yeah. Basically, I fell for him, and he fell for me too. It was something that we spoke about. It was something that we had discussed, and all we needed to do was meet in person. But for some reason, well, no, it was because God was like, bitch, no. There were so many red flags. The fact that he was with somebody else and talking to them while he was talking to me and getting to know me was a red flag, but I didn't know that. Me and him were talking for like 3 months, and at first it was like just a friend thing, but then it became like super flirtatious. It was like, you know, he was calling me babe, and he was like, oh, I like you, and you're so beautiful, this and that. And then one day he just kind of like ghosted me. Like, we would talk all day, like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then he would text me in the morning, or like I would text him in the morning at like 6, be like, hey, good morning. And then he wouldn't answer me until like 6 the next day, bitch, like 24 hours later, or like fucking 8 o'clock that night, like 14 hours later. Like, it was crazy. And I'm very receptive to energy, so I know when something's wrong. And so I asked him a million times, like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? And he wouldn't tell me. So I was like, there's another girl in the picture. There's another girl. Like, it's obvious. And I said to him, I'm like, are you talking to somebody else? Like, if so, like, just let me know, dude. Like, we don't gotta do this, but like, you know, you could have let me know. And he wasn't in a relationship, and me and him definitely were not in a relationship, so he didn't owe me that loyalty. But like, for me, if I like somebody, I'm giving them all my time and energy and attention. I'm not talking to nobody else, okay? He ended up admitting to me about Sam, that he really liked her a lot, and that, you know, the past couple of months they've been together, which is weird because you've also been talking to me, but neither here nor there. But when I found that out, that should have been a red flag right there. And he's like, you know, but she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. She just up and left. I don't understand. And they were never in a relationship, but like, he just fell head over heels for her. And it's funny because at the end of the story, what people will realize is that what she did to him, he did to me. Hurt people, and they recycle what gets done to them instead of healing. When you do not heal your trauma, you do not heal the horrible things that people have done to you, you will recycle what people have done to you onto others, okay? And that's why it's so important to heal your trauma, to get into therapy, to do shadow work and a child work, is because you will recycle your experiences over and over and over again until you heal from them. And that's exactly that's Stefan in a fucking embodiment nutshell, okay? Something just always happened. Like, we would say that we were gonna meet and say we were gonna hang out, and that day something was going to, like, something would just happen, like something would come up. Like obstacles would get in the way every single time. And so then eventually I ended up getting into a relationship with Jose. I've talked about him in a couple of my story times. And when I got into a relationship with Jose, even though Stefan was talking to that girl, even though Stefan had more than enough like opportunities to hang out with me and see me, he was so mad at me. Like, he did not understand. And my thing was, like, I went with Jose because I was tired of waiting for Stefan. Because after Stefan and Sam broke up, like, he's told me he was ready to start dating again. He told me, like, he was ready to meet me and he liked me and whatever. And that, like, I opened his eyes that, like, you know, he should be with someone who actually cares about him. But then he, like, wouldn't ask me to hang out. He asked me to hang out, like, one time and I couldn't. And that to him was like, oh, well, I tried and you couldn't, so sorry. And I'm like, okay, so you can't ask me again? I got tired of his inconsistencies, so I went with somebody who actually gave a fuck about me. He like blocked me off everything, wouldn't talk to me, whatever. But then he would do this weird thing where he would unblock me and then he would like message me. He'd block me off everything. And, like, one day randomly he would text me. He'd be like, hey, I was just thinking about you and I wanted to know how you are. And this happened a lot. Like, there was one night where I was driving home and I'd gotten like kind of into an argument with like the person that I was in a relationship with, and I had tweeted about it. Not about my relationship, but I had tweeted and I'd been like, people just, I said like something along the lines of like, I don't understand why I can't find someone who like understands me or something like that. And then he would text me and be like, hey, are you okay? I was just thinking about you. Or a random day would come up and I would be like having a bad time with my anxiety. And he would text me and be like, hey, just thinking about you. Looking back now, I realized he had my post notifications on for my Twitter. And what would happen is I would tweet something about something I was going through, and he would see that and like use that as a reason to text me. And I used to always think, because I'm such like a signs person, I used to be like, oh, like it's a sign, like he's thinking about me. He always knows when I'm going through something. He always texts me at the right time. Like, no, bitch, it's called I have your post notifications on. Then it would get to a point where like I would be in a relationship and he'd text me and be like, oh, like how are you and your man doing? This and that, which again, red fucking flag. And it would just be a way for him to poke himself in there for me to think about him, because he knows how I am. Like, he knows like how deep I was into him. And he knew how to play with that, which is just sick. So time goes on. Basically, I get out of that relationship and me and Stefan are at a point where we're both single, okay? And for the first time ever, it's the perfect timing for us to meet. And I did kind of explain this in my previous story time that I did about him like a long time ago. But I'll give you a short summary. Long story short, we ended up meeting in person December of 2020, end of the year. And if I was not in love with him before, I was head over heels in love with him now. The moment I met him and just like gave him a hug and embraced him, I truly felt like I've met him before. I truly felt like comfortable with him. I wasn't nervous or anxious or anything. I loved his family so much. I was so close with them. I loved them. I loved him. I loved being around him. Something with me is that I like my space a lot. So when I'm in a relationship, I'm fine with only seeing you once a week, once every other week. I don't really care. I love being alone and I love my space, but I know that I'm like in love with somebody when their presence is better than my solitude. And that's how I felt with Stefan. Like, no time was enough. And when I was with him, hours felt like fucking minutes, seconds. Like, I would hang out with him and we would stay up till 4 a.m. just talking about life, talking about our goals, talking about our past, and just like mentally stimulating each other so much. And I will say that from the time that I was with Stefan, we never slept together. Like, we were physically intimate to a certain degree, but we never slept together. And that's how I know, because I felt these feelings for this man without even getting that intimate with him. And yeah, so I fell for him super fucking hard, and I was all in, like in love with him. And to a degree, I can't speak for him, but like from what we've talked about, he felt the same way too. And we were both just so comfortable with each other, and everything was so good, right? It was so good and it was so perfect, but it was almost like a too good to be true type of moment, right? So this is where things get messy, and this is where I don't have clarity on, but I'm going to tell you what I think happened. So February of 2021 comes around, and basically we fall apart. His communication was horrible, like absolutely horrible. So from December to February, we were like hanging out every single week, talking all the time, really getting like serious, you know? He did not meet my daughter because I'm very protective over that. I always say I will wait at least a year before anybody meets her, because I've made that mistake once before and I never will again. Just everything I've ever wanted on paper. He was a good provider. He was so nice. He was funny. He was cute. Had a great family. He was family oriented. He like took care of the people around him. Like, I'd be at the mall with Aubrey and he would send me like $40 over Cash App and be like, buy her something. Or I'd be at work and I'd have to work late and he'd be like, here, buy pizza for you and Aubrey tonight. Don't go home and cook. Like, relax. So affirmative. Like his words of affirmation comforted me like a warm fucking blanket on a cold December night, like right before Christmas. Like, I know it sounds like corny, but his words comforted me. I could be having the worst day possible and he would text me just being like, I love you, or like anything, and I would just like, and it's weird because going back to right now, even though I have my feelings towards this person and what they did to me, I can still sit here and remember how I felt. Like, I can deadass still sit here and remember how it felt just being with him. And I felt so secure, like so secure. And he made me feel like I was just the only girl in this world. And he made me feel so special. And he made me feel like just on top of the world at all times. And I loved that. So imagine going from feeling like you are up here to like you're nothing. And that's exactly how he made me feel. February comes around and out of like, guys, I'm telling you, out of nowhere, shit just flipped. I went to go see him one night because every week me and him and his family, we get together and play like card games and stuff and just drink, have a good time, listen to music, play Animal Crossing, whatever. Got together one night and I met up with him and his family. And I could tell something was off about him. I didn't know what, but something was off. And long story short, I ended up asking him about it. And he's like, I'll talk to you about it later. And we sit down that night when his family had gone to bed. And he basically tells me that he saw Sam. And I'm like, well, where'd you see Sam? And he's like, well, I came over here to my mom's today because I was off. And I didn't tell anybody I was coming because I didn't think I had to. And I showed up and Sam was here to give like my sister her Christmas present. Because I guess when him and Sam were together, she developed a bond with his family. Whatever, that's fine. And he's like, I just wasn't expecting to see her. And I'm looking at him like, according to you, you're over this girl. You have no more feelings. You realized she wasn't for you, so why are you over here simping when you said you were over her, right? Because like for me, like if I'm not over somebody, I will not date anybody else, because it's not fair when you go through something and somebody hurts you to bleed on people who didn't cut you. It's not fair to make other people pay for someone else's mistake. Like, I should not have to sit here and pay for another woman's mistake because of your inability to heal from it. It's not right. It's fucked up. And that's basically what he did to me. So he saw Sam, got in his feelings, and I guess started second doubting things. And I remember after I left his house that day, I texted him and I was like, hey, I just want to know, like, are you not over Sam yet? Because if you're not over Sam yet, like, we have no business even doing this. And, you know, I'll give you your time to heal. And then maybe one day in the future, we could work it out. And he said no, like, a million times. Like, no, 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 no. Like, I don't have feelings for her. It's not like that. I just was shocked by seeing her. And I was, like, shocked by the disrespect. But he's like, no, everything with us is perfect. Like, please, like, let's just keep doing what we're doing. And I was like, okay. He would just do things over and over and over again and say things. Like, he didn't just say things, he proved it with action, right? Like, I remember I went over to his house one night and Aubrey had lost a tooth and he gave me like $10 to put under her pillow. I was like, here, this is for Aubrey. Or like Christmas time was coming up and he'd be in a store and FaceTime me. He'd be like, oh, do you think Aubrey wants this? Like, for Christmas, you guys, I went to his family's house and we exchanged gifts. Like, we were serious. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not just sitting here like being like, oh, like, I thought it was what it wasn't. Like, no, like, we were serious. Like, I met his family, we spent holidays together, like, and it was a short amount of time, but there was so much that went into that short amount of time. And that's why I'm saying, like, be careful, because I ignored the red flags that were there at first to warn me. And then when I got with this person, there weren't really any red flags at all. And then I was just hit with this bomb of, like, what this person did behind my back, and I wasn't expecting it. But had I listened to the red flags beforehand, I wouldn't have even got in. Because sometimes there aren't red flags like while you're in it, but there's red flags before that you need to be aware of. So basically, the day after that, he was like, hey, do you want to come to my, you know, mom's house tonight? Because I know last night, like, my energy wasn't the best. We could hang out, whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I go to his mom's, and again, the energy is just so different. Like, it's so different. I just can't explain it. And we end up watching a movie and falling asleep on the couch. And we woke up, and I remember I had like a bottle of wine in the freezer that wasn't opened. And I was like, something in my head was like, bitch, go get that bottle of wine because you're not coming back. And I don't, like, guys, I'm telling you, like, my intuition is so weird sometimes because it will tell me things and it will poke at me, but for things that are unexplainable. So, like, we didn't have a conversation say we were ending things, nothing. Like, if anything, we were talking about how we were going to continue things and become even stronger. But the energy ever since he saw Sam was just so weird. So I remember something in my mind telling me, go get that bottle of wine because you're not coming back. This is the last time you're going to be here. And I don't know why. It was just so fucking weird. But instead of listening to that, I said to him, like, oh, I'm going to keep my bottle of wine in there because, you know, for when I come back. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And we walked out of the house together, and he walked me to my car, which he always did. And I gave him a hug. And I just felt in my soul that that was going to be the last time that I saw him. And I gave him like a really long hug. And I don't know why. It's like my body knew before my mind did that this was going to be our last time together. And so I hugged him. I hugged him, but he also hugged me like super hard. And when he kissed me for like a long time. Like those long, like passionate kisses like you see in the movies. And I think that was his way of saying goodbye to me without saying it. So what ended up happening was after that night was when the bad communication started. Again, like from the beginning before we even got together, we were just like friends. He would text me and then like wouldn't respond for like a day or two. And I'm somebody where like, if there's a problem, I'm going to address it. I'm very confrontational, not in a toxic way, but a healthy way. Just like, hey, I noticed this is different. You know, how can I be of support to you? Or how can we fix this? How can we together come to a common resolution? And so I pointed out to him, I'm like, your communication has been really spotty lately. And every time this happens, you know, something's happening, something's going on. So let's talk about it. What's going on? And he'd be like, sorry, I have a lot going on and I've been working a lot. But like his work schedule hadn't changed. He hadn't been working more hours or less hours. He had been working the same hours he had been working for the year that we were in contact. So I'm like, I knew that that was an excuse because I'm like, your work hours haven't changed. So cap. And then he'd be like, I just have a lot going on right now, you know, like personally. And I'd be like, oh, well, like, you know, talk to me about it. Like, is everything okay? Is it your depression? He'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. I just, you know, I'm just going through something. So I gave him benefit of the doubt and I gave him his space because sometimes when you're with somebody and you love them, they do just need space. And then once they have that space, you guys kind of come back together and it works out, you know. I know when I'm going through an issue that I just need space sometimes. So I'd given him a space, and I just kept feeling like something was wrong, and I didn't want to like bombard him and ask him. I wanted to give him that space, but at the same time it was starting to make me feel bad, and it was interrupting my inner peace because, you know, we were still talking, but we weren't talking as much. But then it got to a point where we weren't hanging out, and 3 weeks had gone by without me seeing him. And so I texted him one day and I was like, hey, like, I miss you, like, haven't seen you in almost a month. And he's like, oh damn, has it been that long? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I miss you too. And I was like, oh, well, like, you know, when am I gonna see you again? Like, am I gonna see you this weekend? He'd be like, we'll see. And I'm like, the fuck you mean we'll see? Like, what is that? So really just like weird things that I was picking up on one-on-one were happening. And I kept trying to tell myself, like, Dakota, chill out, like, let him have his space. But then there was like another part of me that was like, bitch, no, like, I'm so tired of like him doing this to me, where he'll treat me like I'm this like fucking goddess on earth one day, and then the next day treat me like I'm nothing. All right, y'all, my light just turned off and isn't working, so this is the lighting that we're gonna have to deal with. I'm incredibly sorry, but it is what it is. Show must go on. I remember, still February, and like my birthday was a couple weeks away. So I was like, I need to get this sorted out like before my birthday comes, because if not, like, that's gonna be awkward. So I kind of just like wrote him, and I'm like, hey, like, I know you're going through a lot right now, and I get it, but just let me know if like we need to separate for a bit so you can like get yourself back together, and then maybe later on when things are better, we can rekindle things and pick up where we left off. And he always said no. Like, he always was like, no, like, we're not doing that. Like, I want to be with you. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to fuck around and lose you. I know that I'm not giving you the time and energy and attention that you deserve lately. I just have a lot going on. I don't want to talk about it, but like, please just like bear with me. And so I did for another few weeks, but then I got to a point where it was just like, I wasn't getting anything from him, you guys. And not only was I not getting anything, but he would be on social media, posting on Instagram, posting on Twitter, posting on every single platform you could possibly think of, Facebook, but would not be talking to me. Even if you're going through something, you're gonna let the people know who love you the most. Like, you're gonna let them know that you're still there, that you still care for them. Like, at this point I hadn't seen him like a month, and so I kind of just came to the conclusion that I needed to leave. And I feel like he knew that we should be separated, but he didn't want to be the one to do it. So I finally made the conscious decision, like, look, like, it's not the right time. Maybe we'll get it right in a different, you know, time scenario, but like, it's obviously not working, and I understand, but like, I'm gonna give you space to do what you need to do, and then maybe when the timing is right, we can come back together. And he told me what was going on, and I felt for him. It was like a situation with his family that I'm not gonna talk about, it's not my business. But he said that that was basically like clouding him, like it was taking over his life to the point where he knew he could not give me the time and energy and attention that I needed. But normal people would be like, I know I can't give this to you, so let's separate. But he was being selfish and wanting to hold on to me because he didn't want to lose me, right? So remember all this happened, because now with this new information, I don't think that that even happened. I think that he was trying to keep me from the demons in his closet that he did not want to get out. I allowed myself to be very manipulated by this person, but I will say that I acknowledge my part in what happened. When somebody shows you who they are the first time, listen to them. My mistake is that I wasn't listening. So I was enabling this person because I was allowing them to kind of fuck with me. And basically after we had like ended things, there was like a passing in his family, so I went ahead and sent them like an edible arrangement to show them, you know, like I care and stuff. And I told him, like, I think it's best if we just like don't hang out, because he's like, well, you know, can we still be friends? Like, do you want to hang out? And I was like, I don't think that that's, you know, the best. And then he would like ask me to hang out. You see what I'm saying? It's like my boundaries just like constantly getting violated. And then we didn't really talk much. We kind of just like didn't talk at all and completely just like separated from one another. Got into another relationship, and I felt like deeply in love with that person that I was with, and I completely like really did forget Evan. Like, I still thought about him from time to time, but I was really invested with the person that I was was with. So I got in that relationship and Stefan was so mad at me. He was so mad at me. And again, it's like, why are you mad at me? Like, you had an opportunity to be with me. You did not want to take it. So when I finally move on and allow myself to be with somebody else, like, why are you mad? Especially now that I know what he was doing the whole time. So this is where the nitty gritty comes in. So me and that person end up breaking up in October. I was always completely faithful to them. Didn't talk to Stefan when I was with them. Like, was very faithful to them. We broke up in October, and me and Stefan, you know, Stefan had found out and reached out to me and whatever. And I had also been in the hospital because I had COVID and I was in critical condition. So again, he reached out and we became like really good friends again. And he would mess with my emotions so fucking much. He would just like randomly text me and be like, oh, it was wrong person, wrong time with the right person, wrong time with us. I'm an idiot for what I did. I should never let you go. I wish things were different. I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then just like wouldn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. Or we would be talking about, you know, something and he'd be like, yeah, you know, if I had my shit together back then, we would have been married by now. Like, I could have pictured myself marrying with you and being with you forever. Like, he would talk about like how like if we had kids and stuff, like what our life would have been like. And he would say these things and manipulate me and my emotions, and then just like ghost me again. Like, it was like not ghost me, but like not talk to me, like leave me on red for like 2 fucking weeks. Like, it was so crazy. And now or he would like send me a song and be like, oh, this song reminds me of you, and it would be like this like beautiful song, and then just like not answer me or like not talk to me. Like, it was so weird. And now what I realized what he was doing was like emotional manipulation, because he wanted me, when he was done doing what he wanted to do, and he wanted me to wait for him. But he knows how I am, and he knows I don't wait for anybody, and that if somebody comes along, I'm gonna take the opportunity. So what he would do is he would make me think that he was still into me, make me think that he still loved me, drop these atomic bombs on me, or do like these like monthly check-ins, I would call them, where he would like check to see if he still had me like that, and then be like, oh, okay, I still have her like that. I'm gonna let, you know, her sit there, and then I'm gonna go do like what I need to do. It's like he would take me out of the freezer and let me defrost, right? And then he'd be like, oh, okay, she's defrosting, and then put me back in the freezer and then go out to eat. Like, that's literally what he would do. It's like as if you were trying to like thaw a chicken for fucking dinner, and then you put it in the fridge, and then you're like, you know what, actually I want to go out to eat, let me go put this back in the freezer. That's exactly what he would do to me. And I didn't realize that at the time because I was so dumb, but like now I do realize that he was just trying to keep me around for when he got his shit together of what he was doing behind my back. So basically that year came to a close, and then this year we would still talk from time to time. I didn't really see him that much, but I did see him one time in November. I brought him coffee to his job. We walked around his job, we talked, he walked outside, and he said something to me along the lines of like, when you were in your last relationship, if I were to text you and tell you that I was ready to be with you, you would have dropped him and been with me, and you know it. And again, it's like red flag, red flag, red flag, because for him to know that he had me like that and just bask in it is sick, because in his mind, it's like, I know this girl's head over heels in love with me, and if she ever does get in a relationship and I feel like I'm actually ready to finally be with her, I could just text her and she'll break up with him. Like, that was really his mindset. And again, why would I even want to be friends with somebody like that? Because that's sick. So during this year, basically, he would do these like little like check-ins with me, right? And then he would still say that he wasn't ready. He'd be like, oh, you're like the one that got away. I picture myself marrying you, but I'm still not ready. I'm still not ready. I'm still not ready. So I had completely lost hope altogether that we were gonna like be together. I was like, Dakota, like, it's obviously not working out for a reason, but in the back of my mind, there was always this what if. So time passes, and all of a sudden in like spring, I wanna say, he ends up asking me if he can call me because he needs advice. And I'm like, sure. So he calls me and he says he needs advice because he got caught. And I'm like, what do you mean you got caught? And he's like, well, I've been talking to these 2 girls. Oh, but I thought you weren't ready. Be you ready to talk to 2 bitches? Okay. He's like, I've been talking to these two girls and they both just found out about each other. And I was like, well, who are the girls? And I'm not going to say who this one girl is because it's not my business and that's his business, her business. But he was talking to a girl and it was somebody that he had like known in the past, that they just kind of like were talking on Instagram, exchanged info, and then hung out. And the other girl that he was talking to, he told me he met her through a photo shoot because he's a photographer. So he was like, I met this one girl from a photo shoot that we did together and I liked her and we started to date. You know, we went out on dates together. We developed a really cool bond. At one point, she even moved in with me for a little bit because she didn't have anywhere to go. So she stayed with me for 6 months. And while she was staying with me and her were like fighting a lot and it just wasn't working out. And, you know, we weren't in an official relationship. We were just talking and dating, but she was living with you for 6 months. Make it make sense. So I started talking to this other girl and I basically was seeing them both at the same exact time. And they both just found out about each other, so what do I do? And I said, cut both of them off because you don't deserve either of them. Because why are you, if you're in love with somebody or you truly are into somebody, nobody else is even like a factor in your mind. So that's exactly what I told him and he was like, yeah, you're right. You know, I think I just need to cut both of them off. Now remember, that girl's irrelevant to this story. It hurt hearing him say that he was talking to two girls because I'm like, you told me that you weren't ready, but here you are tackling two girls. But it also showed me like what kind of person he was, that he comes off as this person who cares so much. This is somebody who will post on Instagram and be like, I can't trust anybody. Relationships aren't like how they used to be. I have so much love and loyalty to give, but nobody wants to reciprocate it back or no one's loyal anymore, right? This is somebody who will like post quotes and memes like that on Instagram, but look what the fuck he's doing. Living a double life. And that's not even the worst part. Listen to the worst part. That girl's irrelevant. This girl, we're gonna call her Cass. He talks to me about Cass. He says that he ends things with that girl. And when I ask if he ended things with Cass, he says yes. And he's like, you know, we still talk from time to time. You know, she's cool or whatever, but she understands. You know, she was upset, but she understood and she was happy I told her the truth. So one day he says to me, he's like, yeah, remember that girl that was like living with me that I was talking to? I said, yeah. He goes, she kind of wants to move back in with me again, but my roommate isn't sure if he wants to let her back in. Now, let me just explain. When I was with Stefan, I would always go to his mom's house. He had his own place, but I would never went there. And when I asked him, why have we never gone to your house? He'd be like, oh, my roommate, you know, him and his girl live here and it's just like it's crowded and it's awkward. And he doesn't really like when I bring people over. And I was like, oh, okay, like I understand that. Red fucking flag right there. So he would tell me that he had this roommate and he never told me his name. I never saw what he looked like and he never posted about him. But when he was with all of his other guy friends, I knew all of their names. He posted about them. I knew who they were, knew what they looked like. But this roommate was never named, never given an identity, nothing. But I trusted him, so I didn't have any reason to think he was lying to me. So he brings this up and I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for her, but I'm not sure what to do. And I was like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, let me tell you, when he was supposedly with both of these girls and one of them was living with him for like all of these months, that was during the time where he was telling me all these things about how he pictures me marrying him and being the mother of his kids and I'm the one that got away, and how if he hadn't fucked up we would have been married by now, while this girl is literally sleeping in his bed. And I didn't know about any of that at all until he asked me for that advice and I made the correlation, like, motherfucker, you've been texting me like all these months saying all these things to me, yet you're with these two girls, like, and you're living with one of them, what? And I even said to him, I said, wait, you had this girl Cass living with you for 6 months and you guys were dating and you guys never were in a relationship? And he was like, no. And I said to him, I was like, you've never even posted her. I've never even seen you post anybody you've been with. And he's like, I did post her. We did a photo shoot together. I said, yeah, but that's for work. That's photography. That's not posting. That's for your job. And I said, which photo is it? It was on his profile from like a month prior. He did a photo shoot with this girl. Her name was Cass. And I had looked at it and I didn't think anything of it because, like I said, he's a photographer. He photographs women all the time. So he goes, oh, was that girl that was in like that sweatshirt and there was like the leaves in the background? And I was like, oh, like with the blonde hair? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, but that doesn't count as posting her. Like you post people all the time for photography. But because of that, I now knew what she looked like. And because my memory's so good, I remembered what she looked like. So I was like, it's not up anymore. And he's like, yeah, you know, I took it down because like I said, we were arguing. So whatever. So keep in mind, he said that Cass was a girl that he just met that year. Because I asked him, I said, when did you guys even start talking? He was like, oh, you know, we started talking in like November. And then, you know, we've been talking, you know, from then to now. And at this point, it was like April, May. And so he's like, you know, yeah, we started talking in October. We kind of got like, you know, she moved in like December. And then, you know, she lived with me for like, you know, like 4 or 6 months. And then, you know, she ended up leaving. And I was like, when did she end up leaving? And he's like, oh, she ended up leaving when I told her that I was talking to this other girl. And I'm like, wait, so she's been living with you this whole fucking time? And he was like, yeah, but I told her, you know, when I told her about this other girl, I told her she didn't have to leave, only if she wanted to. And then she made the decision to leave. And I'm just like, whatever. So anyway, he told me that he met her in October for the first time, met her, did a photo shoot with her, and then they were dating and she was living with him. Remember that, okay? So from that time to about like September, he was single, right? He was single. So me and him started talking a whole bunch, started talking on the phone again all the time, FaceTiming all the time. And we went back to being like BFFs, like literally, but our conversations would get more intense. He would open up to me more. So I basically told him, I was like, the reason why you're not with the person that you're meant to be with and why you're not in a relationship is because you settle with people who you don't actually love, because you're afraid to be with somebody that you actually are in love with, because then that means that you have a chance of losing them and you don't want to get hurt. So as a self-sabotaging coping mechanism, shield and guard and wall that you put up, you don't let anybody in who actually gives a fuck about you. And he was like, you're right, 100%. The thing that was so annoying about him is that we could go months without speaking, like 6 months without speaking, and I could feel like I was completely over him and that what if was like out of my mind. The minute he texted me or the minute we spoke again, it's like all of that just came crashing down and I would fall head over heels in love with him again. And that's exactly what was happening. I could tell. This is the conclusion I came to. I love this person with everything in me. I would do anything for them. And there's few people I've been with in my life that I could say that about. And I know how I am when I love and how powerful my love is. But I also know how people take advantage of it. And I woke up and I smacked myself in the face and I was like, Dakota, this is not supposed to happen for a reason. This is not happening for a reason. God is taking this person out of your life for a reason, and every single time that you start to talk to them again, you get this feeling of sorrow and agony, and it disrupts your peace, and you have a hard time moving forward. Like, you need to just cut this off completely. And that's what I tried to do. So I ended up messaging him, and I basically said, can we talk? And he said, sure. And this was me giving him an opportunity to be like, for me to say how I felt. And if somebody loves you, what they would do is be like, I don't want to lose you. Fuck me being ready. I want to try this with you. You know, if he wanted to, he would, type thing. So I said, let me say this is absolutely not a you problem. This is a me problem, which looking back now, I don't agree with. I said, you did nothing to make me feel this way at all. In no way am I saying any of this to make you feel bad. But I said, at the end of the day, everyone is very different, and that's perfectly fine. But with that being said, for whatever reason, every time I start to talk to you consistently again, my feelings for you come back times 1,000. I don't know why, can't explain it. It's something I've tried analyzing literally for the past 2 years of my life, because every time I think I'm over the past, it hits me like a ton of bricks. I do truly love you a whole lot. I basically know I always will. I can't keep to, which I don't agree with anymore, but at the time. I always try to tell myself to push past it and to just have a friendship with you, but it's becoming hard to do that. Every time over these past 2 years where I even try to move on, the minute me and you begin talking again, my feelings come back as strong as the first day I felt them. And that shit's hard. I truly wish I was the type of person who can hide my emotions or just stuff them down and suffer in silence, but I can't. I'm too emotionally fluid and I can't help but to feel what I feel. But being just friends with you is beginning to be way too hard. Trust me, I know you're probably thinking we haven't even seen each other in a year. How could I possibly even feel this way? I get it myself because I don't understand it and I've been trying to, but I just can't. I think some people we love in our lifetime and we don't really even know why, we just do. I'm conflicted on what to do. I don't want to stop speaking to you because before anything you were my friend. I hate to cut that off, but I'd be lying to myself if I said that talking to you is easy. I love talking to you more than anything, but it's also painful because these feelings are constantly resurfacing. I know that in this moment you're just not ready, and I get it, and it's perfectly fine. I understand. Not sure what I want to do. That's something I have to think about. I did just want to bring it to your attention, let you know how I was feeling. Would hate to lose a friendship, but it feels like I'm picking at a scab that just will never heal. He said, to be honest, I understand. For some reason, I just come to you for everything. You help me figure everything out. I don't want you to be hurt and stuff though, so I understand if you have to cut me off. I want you to do whatever you need to do to help you heal and be at peace. I don't want you to feel like you're going crazy and stuff, because trust me, I get it. Whatever it is you have to do, I respect, because I love you. Here's the thing in my head. I never said I was going crazy. He said that because he knew that psychologically he was making me go crazy, because I think he wanted that. So that way I could be like bonded to him and not let him go. So the next day I end up texting him, or no, he texted me. He goes, so what do you want to do? You have to do what's best for you. So this is what I sent him. I said, I definitely do have to do what's best for me. Even though it kills me, I just have to. With us, I feel like it's a constant pattern. It doesn't ever change. I know that no matter what, my feelings for you will always be present, and I've accepted that, and I've stopped trying to change that because you can't help who you love, but you don't love me in the same way I love you, which is fine. Not saying you don't love me, I know you do, but it's just not as prominent as the level of the love that I have to give is. I was on my laptop the other day because Max saved text messages, even if you delete them from your phone. I was scrolling through our old messages from 2020 when you and Sam were going through what you did. You said something that opened my eyes and made me come to this conclusion, which was, I'm obviously not the guy she wants, otherwise she'd go out of her way to pursue me and tell me that she wants me. That opened my eyes so wide because it's true. When you want someone, guys, listen to this. When you want someone, or when someone really wants you, they pursue you, they make it known. You go after them. Why? Because you wouldn't want to see them with anyone else. As bad as I want it to be me, it's just not. In the past, when you wanted Sam, you did everything in your power to go for her and made an effort. It's just not like that with me, and that's okay. You need to find someone you actually want to put effort into because you deserve that. I want it to be me, but it's not. If it was, we wouldn't be here almost 3 years later. It would have happened. I love you, but being friends with someone that you love deeply is nearly impossible when you want them so bad. And to have to pretend like it's okay when it's just not. We both deserve to be happy. We both deserve to find someone, and me holding on to hope with you isn't going to allow me to find that. I know what I want. I've known what I've wanted for years. I'm ready for that. I'm not scared to fall in love and give someone 100% because I know I deserve that. And I know I deserve someone who wants the same with me. You're not at that point yet, and that's okay. We all have different paths, but I'm 28. Can't sit around and wait anymore. I'm not getting younger. I need to put myself in the position to get the things I want. I can't do that holding on to this false hope with you that one day we can come back together. It's cheating myself, honestly. This wasn't you. It's just a wake-up call that I needed. I wish I could be just friends with you, but I can't. It's too hard. Basically said, like, if you really wanted me, that you would have actually jumped on the opportunity when you had it. And I brought up how he basically told me when I brought coffee to his job, how if I was in a relationship, all he would have to do was just text me, and that I would basically come running back to him. Shows that you're not dumb, and that at any point, if you really wanted to, you could have been with me, but you didn't take the opportunity. I said, I need to be at peace. I can't have peace holding on to this. I love you very much, but it kills me to hold on to this. It's like, you know, like, I'll always be on the sidelines cheering you on, and like, I love you, and you know, it's no bad blood. It's just, this is what I have to do. So this is the text he sent back to me before I found out everything that happened. He said, I respect you 1,000% and I understand. You're the one that made me actually realize my situation with Sam was toxic and that I was loving her more for her potential than anything else. You helped me realize that, and after you, I just never wanted to hurt anyone the way that I hurt you again. I think the world of you. My path is very confusing because I might not be ready to be in a relationship, and it's probably because I'm too comfortable being on my own. but I'm 29. If I can't be ready now, when am I going to be ready to have kids, start a family, and get married? Last thing I ever want to do is hold you back from the life that you deserve, even if it's not with me. I love you to death. Me and you just had this deep connection that goes deeper than anything. After you being with people you were with, I never would have thought that you would even want to be with me. So you telling me this is sort of shocking, because sure, I would say things thinking I had you like that, but I never truly believed it. Like that day in the parking lot when I told you about you leaving a relationship for me, I didn't actually mean it. But then thinking about it, me and you also talk about everything comfortably with no issues. Your opinion's very important to me. I want you to grow, but I want you to never forget about me, because I'll never forget about you. I want you to succeed. I'm your #1 fan. I love you, blah, 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 will always be here. And then he just put thank you with the heart. And that should have been the end after that. But again, this is where the manipulation comes in, because he doesn't respect my boundaries. So then he texts me later and he's like, hey, did you watch the video I sent you the other day? And I'm like, did we not just say that we were gonna stop talking because like I'm trying to get in alignment with what I want, and you're over here messing that up? Like, dude. So this is the shit I'm talking about, right? So he does that and he violates my boundaries again. And when I sent that text, I meant it. Like, I meant I was done. So he started texting me like all the time again after I just told him that I wanted to stop talking. And I basically just like stopped answering him, because I'm like, dude, like, again, you're violating my boundaries. So this one night in September comes, and this is where we're gonna get into shit. So the 26th of September, I texted him to check in on him because I felt bad for basically abandoning him, even though I didn't. But I felt bad for basically protecting my boundaries, right? So I texted him to check in on him, and he said, we haven't spoken in a minute. And I said, yeah, I know, I was just thinking about you. He goes, where have you been? I said, just been going through some stuff. What about you? And then he said he was on the same boat. We were talking about like how he wanted to, you know, relaunch his photography business, things like that, blah, 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 right? So during the middle of this conversation, I don't know what it was, but something told me to go check his Facebook. You guys, this is what I'm telling you. When your intuition fucking tugs at you, literally listen to this shit, all right? So I was messaging him, and since we had, you know, been on good terms, we added each other back on Instagram and Twitter, but we never added each other back on Facebook, okay? So something I don't know what it was, you guys. I hadn't checked this man's Facebook in over a fucking year. Something told me to check his Facebook. And when I checked his Facebook, we weren't friends, but if somebody like gets in a relationship or something, you can see the post. Like, you know, on Facebook when it says so-and-so got in a relationship with this person, and it shows that person's profile picture, it shows what their name is, etc. Tell me why. I go to his page and it says December of 2021. Now remember, we were talking the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. That's when he told me he had all this shit going on with his family. He couldn't dedicate time to me, whatever. But then like the rest of that year, including in October, he was telling me that I'm the one that got away. He still loves me. That we even were talking one day, and I was saying to him, I was like, in the future, if we both like have our shit together, do you think there's a chance? And he was like, yeah. End of 2021, he was telling me these things, okay? It says in December of 2021 that he got engaged. And at first I thought it was a joke. Like, you know, sometimes on like Facebook you joke with your friends and you like get engaged to them or whatever. I thought he was joking. I read through the comments, and his family's commenting on it, being like, oh, congratulations, welcome. And then people from her side of the family are saying welcome to the family, even though you've always been a part of it. So this is not a joke. This is fucking serious. So the girl who he's engaged with, guess who it is? It's Cass. The girl that he said he met from the photo shoot, that he was dating, and then moved in with him because she needed a place to go. And while he was dating her, he was talking to this other girl, and they both found out about each other. Are you keeping up? So then I'm like, you know what? Let me go to her. Let me go to her profile page. So I see that it's Cass. I see that it's the girl that he did the photo shoot with, that he said he was with, whatever. That's not the worst part about it. Number one, yes, it's horrible because he lied to me. Because if he was engaged with the bitch, that means that he was clearly engaged and living with her because they were going to get married, not because she needed a place to go. And also, they weren't just talking and dating, they were in a full-blown engagement. And when I asked him if they were in a relationship, he said no. So he lied about that. But this girl is his ex-girlfriend that he was with for 6 years. And I know that because I went to her profile. Her banner was a picture of them two together. And when I clicked on the banner, it was a banner from like 2014. Like an old ass picture of them. And then when I went into her photos, there's pictures of them dating back from like 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. In the mall together, traveling together, going out to eat together. This is your ex-girlfriend. And he never talked about her to me too, which is another fucking red flag. It's a red flag when a man talks too much about his ex, but when he says nothing about her, it's probably because she's still in the fucking picture. He mentioned to me one time that he's only been in 2 serious relationships. This was one of them. So I texted him and I said, bro, you were engaged, question mark? Ain't this the girl you posted to, the one that you did a photo shoot with, the one that you were asked, that was asking to live with you again recently? I'm so confused. You told me that you met this girl from a photo shoot, but it looks like this is your ex-girlfriend considering that she has you as her whole ass banner on Facebook. And the only thing he said back, instead of calling me, instead of texting me, instead of explaining, he said, yes, that's her. It's a long story. So, this is what I said. I said, for someone who's all about loyalty and honesty, you're one of the biggest liars I've ever met, and that's saying a lot. Hope you find what you're looking for. Good luck. You had the absolute nerve to talk shit about me for getting in relationships when your ass was engaged and also probably talking to this girl and living with her for years, like the whole time that me and you even started talking back in 2020. I was dead ass over here being an idiot, feeling like maybe if I hadn't gotten into relationships or done what I'd done, that me and you could have been together. I feel so fucking stupid right now. You have no idea. I've been here for you through everything. All you do is be sneaky and lie. You need to take a look in the mirror. This is not okay. How do you love people and this is how you treat them? Deadass all set. This was the final nail in the coffin. How am I even supposed to be friends with you now? Friends don't lie. You want to talk about trust. I don't even know if you know what trust or love is, sincerely. I need to go. I don't want to say anything I don't mean. I'm already getting out of character. I've done too much work on myself to allow anyone to make me go backwards in my healing journey. But sincerely, good luck. I hope you get to where you need to be, and I hope you change for yourself. And he didn't say anything after that. I went onto the girl's page again. Thank God I got screenshots of everything. I went onto the girl's page again to do some more digging, and he blocked me off of her page. I was blocked off of her page. Then he blocked me off of all of his social medias. So then I'm like, let me go to her Instagram. I go to her Instagram. She's not she's private, but in the bio it says taken and not looking. This is the conclusion that I drew up to. In 2020, when me and him started to talk, I think that he was living with her. I think the roommate he was talking about was Cass. I think that he has been with her for years, like since 2014, and maybe they broke up a few times or took a break a few times, but I feel like for a good chunk of that time, they moved in together and lived together, and then maybe they like separated but were still being roommates, which is still messed up because we all know if you're living with an ex, you're still having sex with them. You're still like trust me, like that it's the truth. Like if your man is living with his baby mother still or his ex, he's still fucking her. I'm sorry, but he is. It's just, I've been there before. Trust me, I know it. With Adrian. So my synopsis is this. I think that the whole time that was the roommate, because he never named his roommate, never gave him an identification, never told me his name, just called him my roommate. I think he's been living with Cass this whole entire fucking time. And I think that when me and him were talking in 2020 that he had separated for her, but he was still living with her, which is why obviously I never was able to go to his place. And I think that when me and him stopped talking in February, or when his communication was getting trashed, I think him and her got back together. And I think that he felt guilty for what he was doing to me. And so because of that, I don't think anything was going on with his family. I think what was going on is that he got back with her, or maybe he slept with her, or maybe, I don't know, something happened. And he felt bad. Instead of just telling me that, he had to make me go crazy and end things with him because he couldn't do it and be man enough himself. And I think that he's been with her this whole entire fucking time. I don't think she ever moved out. I don't think she ever asked him to move in because she needed a place to go. I think that this has been the roommate the whole time. So not only did you lie to me about where you met this girl, this is your ex-girlfriend that you were with for like 6 fucking years. You didn't meet her at a photo shoot. You didn't just get to know her. You weren't dating her for 6 months. This was your girlfriend the whole time. You don't have a roommate. She's your fucking roommate. That's a lie right there. And you also made up multiple stories about how your roommate said that he was skeptical about her moving back in. She's the fucking roommate. So you're making up all of these stories. Like, you're making up all of these fucking stories that involve her to make it look like you guys aren't anything. Meanwhile, this is your ex-girlfriend that you've been living with for fucking years. Like, I know it. I'm not stupid, right? And another thing that he lied to me about too was just everything. He lied about fucking everything, you guys. And I think with him, he never knew that I was going to see that. Also, another thing that he fucking lied about too was, like I said, end of 2021, he was telling me all of these things that I wanted to hear, giving me all of this hope, yet you were engaged. You were engaged to this girl. Engaged. Like, asked her to marry you. Meanwhile, you're still talking to me. And this makes sense as to why he like wasn't hanging out with me, wasn't asking me, because normally what happened is like we would stop talking, but then we would talk again, and then he'd invite me to his family's house, whatever. It made sense as to why he wasn't inviting me over there anymore. It made sense as to why his sister unfollowed me off of everything. Like, I thought I did something wrong. Like, why did she unfollow me? It makes sense as to why he would go months without speaking to me and then drop atomic bombs on me. Everything started to finally come together. And I put the pieces together myself because I'm not stupid. And I think that he has a problem where he can't just be with one person at a time. And I think that he's living with this girl, and because he doesn't post her and doesn't make it known that because he clearly has a girlfriend, like they're clearly together. But the thing with Stefan is he doesn't post anybody. If you go to this man's social media, you think that he's completely single by what he posts, by what he tweets, by how he perceives himself. He doesn't ever post her. So nobody knows about her besides like probably his family, I'm assuming. So it's easy for him to talk to other women because they don't know that he's with somebody else. But when you go to her profile, it will be like taken and not looking. So he's living with this girl, and she's probably sitting here thinking like he comes home to her every night, they're together, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, they go out together, whatever. Meanwhile, nobody knows about her. And that's why I'm saying, ladies, like, if your man is not posting you, it's because he's hiding you. Either he's embarrassed of you or he's hiding you because he wants to talk to other women. I'm telling you. Like, this shit blew my mind. I felt so betrayed because fuck everything else, right? Fuck me having feelings for him. Fuck, you know, us being together and then not, and then him telling me about all these things, like whatever. Fuck that. Above all, you are my friend, my best friend. And to do that to me, get engaged to this girl and not even say anything to me, and be talking like this and making me think all these things, and like, you could have just left me the fuck alone. I didn't ask you to check in on me. I didn't ask you to drop these atomic bombs then to walk away as if you didn't set them off. Above all, you were my friend, and you betrayed me and lied to me, and you intentionally hurt me. Because I don't give a fuck what you say, because I know he's watching this. You intentionally hurt me. Nobody in this world is living with their girlfriend, ex, whatever, and then does that to someone that they love. You claim you love me. You don't love me. I don't think you even know what love is. I really don't, because it's not what you give out. It's not what you exude. Friends don't do that. And what fucks me up is that I spent such a long time thinking that I was the problem. Thinking that if I hadn't gotten into these relationships and I would have waited, maybe me and him could have been together. That's how he made me feel. And listen, nobody can make you feel a certain way, so I'll give him the benefit of that. That's the energy he was giving to me, but I should have been more cautious of the information that I was telling myself, because I'm smart. I'm a smart woman. Contrary to popular belief, I'm fucking very intelligent. So I should have told myself, like, Dakota, no. Like, hold on one second. Like, I think that's what fucked me so much, is that this person was, I told them everything, like, and I had been there for them through everything. Through all of their heartbreaks, through all of their trials, through all of their tribulations, giving them business advice on how to be an entrepreneur, sending them links to tripods, to cameras, to giving them confidence within themselves when they fucking needed it. Like, I had done so much for this person. I did it because I love them, and I'll never take that away. But you could literally move mountains for somebody if they want them out of the fucking way. And if they are not secure within themselves and on their path and journey, it will never be enough. And they will still treat you like you weren't shit. And that's what I think I don't understand, is how somebody like this could just treat everybody in their life like they are a casualty, like they're just property, and they like a number. They don't mean anything. There's no significant meaning. They're just supply. That's what fucks me up. We've been friends for so long, and we had shared so much together. And I had to pick up these pieces and give myself closure and move on, because I know that he never would. I gave him one opportunity, and I texted him a week later, and I said, after all we've been through, and after how long we have been friends, because above all, we were friends before anything, you're really just not going to say anything? No explanation? No, I'm so nothing? And he didn't answer, and it's in that moment where I realized, people who have hurt you don't care. They don't care. People who have hurt you intentionally and done you wrong don't care. I know that sounds like a blanket statement. I know it sounds bold, and I know it sounds harsh. But listen to me when I say this, because I've been through a lot of situations in my life where I've been fucked over. And they've apologized years later, but it hasn't meant anything. They only apologize when there's a benefit. Adrian only apologized because he wanted access to me again. Once I didn't give him that access, I was another number. When people do you wrong and don't apologize for it, or don't take accountability, or don't explain themselves, because somebody like me, I would never do something like this to somebody, but say if I did, the first thing I'd be doing is getting on the fucking phone. It's a huge thing I had to learn, and this was my final lesson. First of all, this was my completion of a cycle of me being with people who are beneath me, being with people who don't see my value, or either they do see it but don't know how to properly take care of it, me settling for less than what I deserve, and these generational curses and cycles of being with these men who have not healed through their trauma, are not sure of who they are, and bleed on people who didn't cut them, intentionally hurt people, and recycle their experiences onto other people because they can't heal from them. That cycle is now closed. Never again will I tolerate this type of treatment and behavior from somebody. 2, stop trying to paint red flags a different color. Take your rose-colored glasses off. Take people at surface value, and stop trying to love people for fucking potential, because potential is bullshit. Who you are is who you are. That's it. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Stop trying to change people or fantasize how somebody could be. Take them for how they are, because how you see somebody now is how you're going to see them in the next 5 years. Put yourself first. Like, literally put yourself first. And when someone's taken out of your life, like when God takes somebody out of your life, it is for a reason. When the universe takes someone out of your life, it is for a reason. Stop trying to resist that. Stop trying to be like, oh, but I want them, or oh, I want them to love me. Like, stop trying to do that. You cannot get love from the same place that made you sick. You can't. And you know what? The first time that he hurt me, when he like ghosted me or whatever, and said he had like all this stuff going on with his family, that's why we couldn't be together, that should have been my first, like, that should have been my realization of like, I shouldn't even be friends with this person, because they couldn't even be honest with me. right? But nope, I kept going. And you know what? I'm not gonna blame just myself for this, because he manipulated the fuck out of me. He's a master manipulator, a great liar, and he is very much so to blame. But my thing is that I saw who he was the first time, and I should not have believed. I should have believed it, you know? There was red flags. I ignored them because I loved him. And this is just a huge sign. Like, ladies, like, you need to be careful about who you allow into your life. You need to be careful about who you date, who you talk to, who you share information with, because with people like this, they are just out there to be self-serving to themselves. And the minute that they can no longer benefit from you, or the minute that they cannot mold you or manipulate you, they are on to the next. And it's just a huge warning. Like, be careful about who you let into your life. Take your time, look at the red flags, and pay attention to your body. That's the thing too, is that I noticed whenever I would let him back into my life, I always had bad anxiety. I had stomach aches. Like, my body was trying to tell me, this person is not supposed to be in your life. Like, when you get a bad feeling in your body about somebody, please listen to it. Thank God I was never sexually involved with him, because we all know about attachment with sex and sexual demons and stuff like that. Thank God I never did, because who knows, I probably would have been way more attached. Which is why I'm saying, like, watch who you're with, you guys. Like, watch, because, like, sex is such a sacred thing, and there really is energy exchange through sex. Like, it is a sacred thing. You are not supposed to be just having it with anybody. And had I had that encounter with him, I probably would have been a million times more attached. For me, it was me being anxiously attached to somebody and wanting to be with them, and them being avoidant, and this, like, cat and mouse game too. That's another thing too, is like, I was chasing him in the beginning. And ladies, as a woman in our divine feminine energy, we should never be chasing anybody. Men are genetically, like, inclined to chase, right, and provide and to pursue, and we're not supposed to be doing that. And I think that he got a high off of it. I don't think he loves me, and I don't think he loved me. I don't think he did. I think he loved how much I loved him. I don't think he loved me at all. I think he loved how much I loved him. I think he cared about me. I think he liked me. A lot of people like me. Everybody likes me. But I don't think he loved me. I think he just loved how much I loved him. And he needed an ego boost. And he knew he could get that from me. I thought the world of this kid. I thought he was amazing. Such a good guy. He did so much for me when we were together. He made me feel safe and secure and provided for. So I thought the world of him. Like, I was telling my friend this the other day. I said, this is how much I trusted him. If you were to put him in a room full of people and say to me, who do you think in here would fuck you over? He would be the last person. He would be the last person that I ever would have thought to fuck me over. And that's what hurts the worst, because when I've been in, like, relationships in the past with certain people, sometimes I expected it, right? Sometimes I was like, I know this is gonna end, it's just a matter of when. But I don't know what's worse, getting hurt and knowing that you're gonna get hurt, or like almost seeing it coming so you're kind of prepared, or having no fucking idea and thinking this person is the best person in the whole entire world and just being like smacked with that shit. I think it's kind of worse to just not feel like you're gonna get hurt by somebody, and then you get just like smacked with it like a fucking Mack truck. Like, when I tell you this shit blew me, this shit blew me. But you know what? Thank God I've done the work on myself that I have over this past year, because I did not internalize this. I looked at this and I said, God, thank you, because guess what? I prayed to God the night before this happened, and I said, there's one person that I have loose ends with still that is always a what if, and it is Stefan. That's not his real name, obviously. We're protecting identities, even though he doesn't deserve it, but it's Stefan. Please show me who he is. And the next day I got that urge to go on Facebook, and this is what fucks me up. Had I not checked Facebook and seen that, I would have never known. He would have taken this to the grave. I did not internalize this. I did not look at this and say, I was the problem. I wasn't enough. I wasn't this, and that. I looked at it and I said, this person's fucked up and they have a lot of issues to heal, and I don't have time for that. So this is why I was revealed this information. Because good God, that would have been bad if I internalized that shit, right? And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't know that I feel this way. For all he knows, I could be sitting here crying myself to sleep and he doesn't give a fuck. And that's why I'm telling you guys, when people hurt you, they don't care. People who hurt you are hurt themselves and they are selfish. So instead of you sitting there internalizing it, being upset about it, just realize that they were taken out of your life for a reason, and that whatever is taken away is replaced with so much better. Anything in my life that has ever been taken away has been replaced with something so much better. I talk about this thing called the teddy bear effect on my podcast, and it's this picture of God. Whether you're into religion or not, just listen. It's this picture of God and this little girl. And this little girl has a teddy bear she's holding. And it's like a small teddy bear. And God is asking her to give him the teddy bear. And she's saying, but God, I love it. Like, I don't want to give it up. I love it. And God says, just trust me. And behind God's back, the little girl can't see, but there's a huge teddy bear behind him. And what this is a metaphor of is when you let go of something that you think is so big but is actually so small, God has something so much fucking bigger for you. There is something so much bigger for you. But it's outside of what you think that you want. And that you think that you need, but you actually don't. Because at the end of the day, when we come into this world alone, we leave this world alone. I know that we were put on this earth to love and be loved, but at the end of the day, you always have to have higher respect and love for yourself than anybody else. Because you come into this world alone, you leave this world alone, right? So you need to look out for you because nobody else is going to. And it's just a huge lesson to like listen to yourself and know that at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. And for anybody who needs to hear it right now, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through bad times, if you can't pay your rent, if you just lost your job, if you're going through custody battles, whatever your problem is, just know you're going to be okay. It's not the end. You're going to be okay. Everything is going to be fine, my love. I promise you that. And when you're with somebody and you think to yourself, like even if it's a friendship, a family member, a relationship, and you think to yourself, I can't lose this person because I don't know what life is like without them. I don't know what I'll do without them. You're going to be fine. You have yourself, babe. At the end of the day, you have yourself. And I think what the issue is that in this world, we're made to believe that we never know what to do. Like, oh, should I leave this person? Or, oh, should I have this person in my life or not? Oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I get this job? Should I leave this job? Should I open my own business? You always know what to do. And you know how you always know what to do? It's because of that feeling that you get in here and that voice that you get in here. You always know what to do. But a lot of times there's resistance because we don't trust ourselves. Okay? Especially if you have an abandonment wound from childhood, you had a caregiver that wasn't there, or you weren't able to make decisions for yourself. If you had a very like authoritative parent, you don't trust yourself, and so you have a hard time making decisions. You're very indecisive. You don't know what to do. You don't know what you want. You don't know where to go. You don't know up from down because you don't trust yourself. And so there's resistance to change because we don't trust ourselves to thrive in that change. The diamonds, before they get made into beautiful diamonds, they are pressurized, okay? Diamonds under pressure makes for a beautiful product. And sometimes you are being put through a season in your life where you are being prepped for all the beautiful things that want to come into your life, and you're being primed and you're being put under pressure because the end outcome is beautiful. But sometimes in life, you need to go through some shitty things to learn lessons that you can't learn from textbooks. Like you could only learn through experience. Experience is life's greatest teacher. People are your greatest teacher, okay? And that's why I'm so grateful for everything I've ever been through in my life, the good, the bad, whatever, because it's taught me so much. It's taught me so much. Everything I've been through and everything I put myself through, because I'm not naive to the fact that I've put myself through a lot of the situations I've been through in life. But from the things that I've been put through, the things I put myself through, it's all come with a lesson and experience that I am so grateful for, because I've learned. It has molded me into the human being I am today, because how could I talk about roads I've never been down before? And I'm grateful for even this experience. I'm grateful for the person that Stefan was in my life when I needed him, because I did need him at the time. I'm grateful for the great things, and I'm also so grateful for the shitty things. He taught me so much about myself, you guys. I have gained so much more perspective and self-love and self-worth from me not being with, me being with him and then like not, because I had to realize like happiness and love really comes from you. But this was a big karmic past partner that I had, and in this lifetime my goal was to break that bond. I know for a fact I had been with him before. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that you meet people from your past all the time, and from the moment I met him I could tell that I knew him for a long time. But that doesn't mean it's like a past soulmate. It could be a past karmic partner, which means that you are there to like teach each other lessons, right, about one another, and then this lifetime you're meant to like break that bond. My whole life has been full of me breaking generational curses. It's been full of me breaking toxic patterns, and a lot of the women in my life, from my grandma to my mom to me, they have gone through a lot of trauma when it comes to men. Been through a lot of abuse, been through just a lot of horrible, horrific things. If you guys even heard my grandmother's story, who's not here anymore, but your jaw would be to the floor about how resilient that woman was. And then my mom had to go through a lot of stuff, and then I had to go through a lot of stuff, and it ends with me. Like, I am the one that's doing all of this work to break generational curses, to break, you know, these cycles in our family, and then my daughter is gonna reap those benefits, right? And it makes me emotional, because it's like, it's such hard work, but it's so worth it. Oh my god, why am I crying? It's hard, but it's so worth it. It's so hard, but it's rewarding at the same time, because it's like, wow, like I'm putting in all this work to break this shit. Like, it ends with me, right? Like, it ends with me. And sometimes you're that person out of your bloodline that gets picked to break all this shit. And it sucks, but it's also amazing at the same time, because it's like, oh my god, like I'm so happy that I'm breaking these and that I'm learning and I'm growing, and then my child is gonna be the one that lives this like healthy life, you know? So anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I've recorded this video so many times, and I go back and I always hate it, and I feel good. I feel good about getting this out. I feel good about not having this person in my life anymore, and this whole year I have been clearing out karmic cycles. It's like when you have a room full of like one of those rooms from like America's Biggest Hoarder. It's like you have a room full of shit, and then life comes in and just like, you know, knocks all of it out, and it's like, nope, you got to get rid of all of this. Like, it can't be in here. It's the same thing with people sometimes. People sometimes will hold you back. And I've lost a lot of people, not a lot, but like 3 or 4 over the past year that I thought were going to be in my life forever, you guys. And it's because I love so deeply, whether it's a friendship or relationship or anything. But this year I told myself, come hell or high water, I am putting myself first. I gotta put me first, Lucius. No, I'm serious. But I am putting myself first, and I've lost people because of it, and that's fine, because I need to be happy. Dakota needs to be happy. You need to be happy. You need to take care of yourself first. And if that comes with burning some bridges, learn how to swim. You guys, listen to me when I say this. In life, you are going to burn some bridges, because you are going to put boundaries down, and you're going to love yourself and put yourself and prioritize yourself first. You are going to burn bridges, so learn how to swim. Because when you learn how to swim, you realize that you can keep yourself above water, and that you don't need any company that is bad. The only company you need is positivity. Burn bridges, learn how to swim. I don't care about any bridges that I burn anymore, because I'm a fucking athlete, okay? Like when it comes to swimming, bitch, I'm a synchronized swimmer, like period. So I'm gonna end this video with saying that if you have somebody in your life right now that you feel like you have like a bond with, like a trauma bond or like a karmic bond, or just like you just can't like cut that cord, I'm gonna play you this prompt, and I'm gonna encourage you to do something, okay? You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I'm gonna encourage you to do this. Write this down on a piece of paper, and then write a letter to that person saying goodbye, and then rip it up, burn it. Don't burn your house down, okay? If your house burns down, I'm not responsible, but flush it down the toilet, bury it, do what you gotta do, and release them and everything that comes with them. All right, ready? This is it. This helped me so much let go of so many people in my life. Ready?
And I release you with a full heart, with love for the place you once held in my life. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. I now take back all the energy that has been taken from me, or that I have given away, and I return all the energy I still hold from you. May I be free from the ties that bind us. May all cords be cut.
I'm telling you guys, write that down and just release it. Oh my God. I've never felt so light in my life. I've never felt so light. Cutting off dead ends is not just about hair. Cutting off dead ends is sometimes people who just are no longer serving you anymore and no longer a good aspect of your life. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciated having you here. Thank you so much, as always, for gifting me a platform where I can come on here and share my heart and share my experiences and heal. And I just love you guys so much. Always have, always will. You guys are my best friends, my family, my everything. And just thank you. Don't feel bad for me either, because I am not sad over this. This needed to happen and I am good. I am okay. I'm about to meet my husband. Like, I know it. Like, I know that he is coming. I know it. I could feel it. So don't feel bad for me. This just made room for someone to come into my life who actually loves me and treats me correctly and gives me that same love that I have been giving out to other people so freely for so many years. And Steph, if you're watching this, because I know you are, thank you. Like, sincerely, thank you. I have no animosity towards you. I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you, how do I say this? I wish you the ability to be honest enough with yourself to confront and recognize what you need to heal, what you need to work on, so you can stop hurting other people, specifically other women. And I hope you love yourself enough one day to actually allow yourself to love and be loved by other people. I really do. That's all that I wish for you. Nothing but the best. Thank you for your purpose and your season in my life, but that's exactly what you were, was a season and a chapter, but you were not my whole book. So yeah, bye guys. Isn't an option due to unusual rain and thunder, baby, I wonder